So, thank you, Maurice, for taking this call. This is a great call and opportunity to, give the audience an idea of how our partnership with Bliro looked like in the past couple of months. We've worked since June or 2025, so some months, and feel free and go ahead and tell the audience what you guys do and yeah.
Perfect. Thank you, David. Yeah. So my name is Maurice. I'm one of the founders of Bliro and responsible for sales, customer success, growth, and all other business-related topics at Bliro. At Bliro, we are building the best way to sell with AI by making sales teams more efficient, more transparent, and better with AI. To do this, we built a little assistant that transcribes and analyzes conversations, no matter if they happen online or on-site. So usually customer conversations in a sales use case. And we help the sales teams to analyze these conversations, to use them for coaching, to update internal tools like the CRM system. So in a nutshell, we save 5 to 8 hours per user and week by using Bliro. And in our own sales, we have a strong focus on selling to large enterprise sales teams. So many well-known German companies are using Bliro already, many Mittelstand companies. And in order to reach them, you cannot rely on a comfortable inbound, somebody Googling for the best way to sell with AI for my Mittelstand sales team. No, you have to do strong outbound sales. And in order to build the engine around our outbound sales, we work together with you to look for leads automatically, to build a pipeline, to automate processes in and around HubSpot. So yeah, that's how we got together.
That's really great. And how was your situation before we started working together? How big was your sales team? What situation was your GTM like?
So now we are in total 25 people in the company. 1 year ago, we were 4 people. I think when we started working together, I think we just hired our first account executive. So we were basically me and the account executive in our sales team, which means we were fully founder-led sales. There was no process, there were no processes, there was no proper tool stack yet, nothing basically. We were doing a lot of cold outreach by email. So that's how we grew to the first couple €100,000 of ARR via my personal email inbox. We then later added some burner domains, but that's it. That's all we did. We used Apollo for email outreach, and we had a little bit of referrals coming in when you joined. And then the goal was to build an engine that would work for 5, 6, 7 SDRs, for 4 or 5 account executives, but there was nothing there yet when you joined.
Yeah, no, that's great. And you already mentioned what kind of system we built or how your team grew, but could you maybe talk a little bit more about the specific results that we achieved after, let's say, 6 to 8 months?
Yeah. So we basically started in a proof of concept kind of working relationship, which means we set up a goal of where we want to be, I think like 8 to 12 weeks after starting to work together. And the goal was to build the very first version of our go-to-market engine. We wanted to introduce Clay, which we did, and we also wanted to integrate everything properly with HubSpot, etc. So that was the goal for the first weeks, and yeah, that's what we did. So after I think 8 to 12 weeks, we had our first setup ready. We had Clay connected. We had HubSpot ready, so we were able to find leads according to our criteria automatically, and also send them to HubSpot. So our sales team was able to start the outreach.
Great. Yeah, I mean the partnership has been great, and I feel like your internal employees also are glad to have such a system in place. What would you say surprised you the most about the process and the system behind it?
I'm a big fan of using all the tools that are helpful of those that are out there. And I was surprised how quickly we were able to find the initial setup and to build the initial setup, and how quickly we were able to get the first results. I'm a big fan of working iteratively on such a go-to-market engine. Doesn't make sense to over-engineer, overcomplicate things. You need a working first version. It's similar to product development actually, and that's really nice. So I was surprised how fast we were able to get to this very first version, and I was also surprised how little input you needed from our side. We defined, hey, this is where we want to go. You brought in a lot of your expertise and your knowledge and your own ideas. And then we were able to build the first version, as I said, in a very short time frame, and it was surprising to me.
That's really great. If you would think about the process and the system behind it again, and someone else is considering to buying this or implementing this for his company, for his startup, what would you tell them?
I would say it makes sense to see building a go-to-market engine similarly to building a product, which means you need a first MVP. You should not over-engineer it. You need a first working version with that fulfills a certain set of requirements. That's what we defined, and I think that was super, super helpful. Then you need to build this MVP, put your team into it, in our case, the SDR team, and then work iteratively based on their feedback. So do not over-engineer, build an MVP, and then optimize over time, iterate over it. So now, for example, we have an iterative process. We have like an internal forms that SDRs and account executives can fill out to give feedback, and this lands like in our backlog, and then we work based on there. So build an initial setup, but then also have enough budget and plan, with an iterative collaboration over the next months until you have a really nice engine that is better than the version 1, and do not expect a perfect engine in version 1.
Yeah, great. Like build an initial system and then use the data that you get to just keep iterating to get the best version possible.
Exactly.
And for the last question, you mentioned and you talked about your growth targets. If you had to put a dollar amount or dollar value on the system or transformation that we had over the couple months, what would you say is that in your case?
So in the last 6 months, we were able to nearly triple our ARR. And we are in the million ARR area, so we added a lot of ARR in the last month. Now you can calculate what this means in company value. You can just take the ARR itself. Our growth is mostly driven by Outbound, which means it's mostly driven by the engine that we built. So the 7-digit ARR number is something that I would put on there, because this progress wouldn't have been possible without the collaboration.
That's amazing. Thank you so much, Maurice, for this call, for this testimonial, and looking forward to keep the partnership going the next couple of months.
Thank you, David. Of course.